A warm welcome to all the listeners. Listen to the Blue Horse. Dr. C.K.N. is in conversation with Pooja. I'm sure you'll enjoy this session, and I'm sure it's going to be some food for your thought.
And we're back again. So let's talk about Mr. Blue Horse, your attitude, right? Every time I ask you how you are, how's your day, what do you come back with? Always perfect, always great, always good. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get that attitude? Why is it always so positive?
See, the mental health part of a human plays the most vital role
I agree.
in his overall and day-to-day life.
Yeah. You can have everything and still not be happy,
Yeah.
still not be positive.
So, if you ask me, a guy who earns $500 a day,
Can be more happy.
and the guy, and be happy with that.
Yeah.
And the guy who earns $50,000 a day and living a sad life.
Yeah.
You have to give credit to the guy who earns 500 rupees a day and live happy.
With respect.
So, when it comes to the question of happiness and the opposite end is sadness, right? So, these are momentary, Say, for example, if you buy a new car, you'll be very happy for a small period
For
of
a
time.
few days, yeah.
Once you get more used to it in a month or so, that happiness will go.
Yeah.
Then probably that kind of happiness will come when you change the next car after 3 years or 5 years, 10 years, whatever. So there is something called personality trait,
Yeah.
your characteristic traits, that how good or bad you will behave in a given situation,
Yeah.
which is very important. Right? So building up a person with parental condition and society, then your educational institutes where you spend more time, right? Or the major areas where you develop your personality.
Right.
So you look at things, you learn from people, you always want to do something, they keep on asking you when you become big what do you want to be, all that kind of thing. So these things are very, very important stuff which develop the personality part of a person. And optimism and pessimism,
Yeah.
introversion and extroversion plays a role.
Yeah. I mean, it's not related, right? Introverts are not like pessimists as such, no?
If you're going to close yourself, you're not going to expose yourself much with human affiliation.
Okay.
The more of human affiliation, you turn to learn more without your knowledge, with or without your knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. So PMA here plays a role, positive mental attitude. So you always remain positive.
How?
Pessimism is negative thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So if an individual has to live a balanced life, his mental health is very important.
Yes.
The mental health, the major part of your mental health is your positive approach, the positive mental attitude.
Okay.
You got the point? Say suppose you are 22 plus years old. You cannot close your eyes and jump into anything and everything.
Yeah.
Right? If you have no experience of mountaineering, you cannot just go and climb Mount Everest. You will die.
Correct.
So when you are exposed to certain tasks, you should be clever enough to assess yourself whether will I be able to, take up this task and complete it. Evaluate yourself.
Okay.
It may be beyond your capacity, right? If such so, don't involve. If you think yes, I can, then go into it.
Okay.
At that time, you need a lot of positive energy, positive mental attitude to take up the task and complete it in time.
Okay.
So there are two words in English. One is efficiency, the other is capacity. Efficiency is to, complete a task in time.
Yeah.
For example, you need 180 minutes to do this job. If you completing it in 172 minutes, you're efficient in your job.
Correct.
If you are doing it in 210 minutes, you're capable of doing the job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, this you understand. So, whether you're going to be efficient in doing the job or capable of doing the job, you should always have the positive mental attitude
That you can do
that I will be able to complete this. Okay. If suppose you are not having positive mental attitude, oh, this may not be good to me, this I may not complete it, like that kind of a negative way of thinking. Even after 400 minutes, you will not be in a position to complete the task.
Does it actually have an effect, Mr. Blue Horse?
Yeah, it has.
Even
So that's
if-
why I said you should assess yourself. You cannot go and blindly jump into
Yeah,
anything.
that would have been my question. Like, even if I'm capable,
You
if
should
I
have the positive mental aptitude.
if I have a negative attitude, it affects my performance?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. That pessimistic way of going around with executing things, will not work.
All right.
It will not work at all.
How does one rewire that brain if somebody is always only thought of the
No,
negative?
rewiring is not possible. It's not so easy. Unfortunately, these things are not being taught to the children
Yeah.
in education.
Yeah.
What exactly is PMA? PMA plays a vital role in everybody's life. There is no doubt whatsoever, right? So, positive mental attitude is the most important part of your characteristic trait where you will have, all your guns firing when it needed. Okay? We look at it this way. Life is a human life, today's context we take. Okay? Even in the past, it's the same. If you take a human life, it is always a challenge at every point. Correct? You go on facing challenges, right? In your childhood, right? Trying to learn basics. In your schools, trying to learn lessons, right? In your exams, you're supposed to score marks. When it comes to certain level, you have to choose which area to go and do specialization. You go little bigger, you should know your talent, identify your talent, what is given to you by nature. So when as an individual, you should know how to satisfy your parents, right?
Yeah.
Your brothers and sisters, your relatives, friends, Those are also, I would call it as challenges. Then once you complete your education, after all, you're getting educated to, find a livelihood for yourself, because it's an economic-based life. So you should be able to find jobs or do business on your own,
Right.
where you have to generate money, to look after yourself, to look after the people around you. Should be able to support your parents in the old age. And once you get married, you have to support your wife, then your children.
Right.
So it goes on and on. So the economic commitment, the financial commitment is always there. So how successful you are in that, how successful you are in your earning. Right?
Right.
You should not go into wrong practices, because if you get caught, the reputation of the family, the reputation of your personal side, everything will go. Whether you take a good name in the society or not, you should not take a bad name.
True.
You should know how to balance every aspect of your life. Once you cross 25 years of age,
Okay.
you should know how to balance your work front, manage your finances, take care of the home front, keep good relationship with the people around you, the family members. Everything is a challenge, right? If you go on, get angry and shout at people,
Yeah.
nobody like you.
Yeah.
The sight of it, they hate you. They look at you as a pain, right?
Yeah.
So, how important you are going to manage your emotions, right? Becomes a challenge again. Emotions are very important. At the same time, the challenge is how exactly you are going to handle those emotions, which is very important. You cannot go on fighting with people,
Yeah.
because individuals can never travel together.
Yeah.
They are of different personality traits. They may not sync with each other. At the same time, you have to balance and go. It's a challenge by itself. You may like somebody, you may not like somebody,
Right.
but you cannot show your dislike out there.
Is it?
You may show your liking, you should not show your disliking.
But won't that affect that person?
Which person?
The person who dislikes somebody and have to be along with somebody they dislike?
Like in an organization, when you work, for example, you like certain people, you don't like certain people.
Yeah.
Don't show your dislike. Keep it to yourself.
But would that not have an impact on...
No, try to stay away from him. Just work-wise, you touch him and go. Right? Don't share your secrets. So the positive mental attitude in a personality of a person is the energy. It's an enormous energy by itself.
Yeah.
With your positive mental side of it, you generate a lot of energy. When you are on the negative foot, you drain a lot of energy. You remember this first.
True.
It's very important.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah. So you need to have a good, easy mind to look at things.
How does one get that?
Like they say, expectations lead to disappointment. Likewise, if you are a positively oriented person and there is a task in front of you, you look at it very light, right?
Okay.
You look at it solvable, easy, whatever words you can call it. If you are a negative person, if you are on the pessimistic side, you look the same task much bigger, much harder, or more painful. You got the point?
I got the point. I'm just wondering which of it is actually real. It's just a perception, right? Either way.
It is not the question of, perception. I'll explain you what is a perception. Okay. There is something called sensation and perception. Looking at me is sensation, the picture of me. After looking at me, thinking, I'm sitting in front of the blue horse, it's perception.
Okay.
Recognizing, connecting the sensation with your memory bank is perception.
Right.
This is the exact meaning of perception. Now we are talking about the positive mental attitude, how the brain functions, how your thinking pattern functions, where remains your attitude. If you are a positively oriented personality with lot of positive mental attitude, your energy automatically get boosted up when you are facing a task. So that you solve it in an efficient manner well within the time frame in which it should be completed.
Right.
Either it may be a challenge with a human relation, or a challenge with a troubleshooting in a family, or a challenge that you have to take the task and complete it and boost the sales of your company. It differs. This challenge differs, right?
Right.
Area to area, this challenge differs. So, if you are going to organize a big international event and you're going to be in charge of it, and that is a big task, you have to coordinate with number of faculties and work along to make sure everything is in place, right?
Yeah.
Before the event could start. It's a big task, big challenge. At that time, you have to have extremely positive mental attitude, in the sense that every faculty of yours, whom you are going to name and then give them the task, okay, you take this section, you take the videography side of it, you take the media, you should be able to think in such a positive manner. This team which is working under you will be able to complete things in time and make sure every loose end is tied so that the event goes on smooth.
Right.
This is where your positive mental attitude comes into play.
Okay.
Suppose if you have a spouse at home who is more of negative oriented person, you will be recognizing that, and you use all your positive mental attitude, which is going to give you a lot of energy, and slowly explain this spouse, okay, you think this way, when you come to this situation, you think this way. Don't think the other way. Trying to counsel them all the time and convert them and pull out the positive mental attitude is buried in their brain.
All right.
Every brain has got the positive mental attitude. Some are using it, some are not using it.
Right.
So the some who are using it will be in a position to identify what is the percentage of positive mental attitude buried in an obsidian and how to pull it out. So that you help a person to become one like you. That's possible.
Interesting.
Or when you look at a person always with lot of energy, you can quickly understand that this guy is a positive mental attitude personality. By slowly traveling with him and, day in and day out looking at him, the way he handled the situations, handled certain problems and, try to end those problems, trying to help others to end their problems and all that by his, your association with him, constantly observing his behavior with respect to the discharge of his responsibility with PMA. You slowly pick up and learn the positive mental attitude way of handling things without your knowledge. Right?
Right.
So, the best part of mental health in a person is always the person should be with full of positive mental attitude, and at the same time you should be sure of the task what you're going to handle. Before you go into some problem solving situation, you evaluate yourself whether am I capable of taking up this task in my hand and complete it. Once you evaluate yourself, yes, I can, I will, and I must. If you are capable, if you're confident, pull out all your positive mental attitude, which will generate a lot of energy in you, and you can, take up the task and complete it in time, which is going to help everybody around you. And the best part of mental health in a person is positive mental attitude. Without that, the harmonious life will not set in at all. Here, happiness doesn't play a role. It is the satisfaction which plays a role.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blue Horse. So, cheers to happiness and PMA, a new terminology that I really didn't know. Read up on it, practice it, be happy, stay positive. We'll see you in the next session.